The CBC is reporting that the Canadian Pension Plan Investment Board has revealed that only 12% of Canada's pension plan investments are invested in Canada. Worse yet, presently, we're at 47% invested in American companies, which sounds bad, because it is. But before we get out our pitchforks, the fact is that the rampant corruption in America historically has made it a lot more reasonable, at least from a make my money grow perspective. Heck, when I started investing in the stock market to try and save for retirement, I had no idea what Canadian companies I could invest in. And if I'm honest, I still don't know. But what I did know was I knew one thing about one particular American company. And I also knew that capitalism tends to punish you if you don't actually do capitalism. And I didn't want my money to slowly depreciate in value due to inflation. So I ended up investing all of my money in one company that I had a pretty good understanding of how good or bad they were doing. And it worked out well for me. I had the holdings, not a ton of money invested, period. But the money that I did have, I'm glad that I invested it because it's more than I put in. And I did cash out right around the time that Elon started messing with the treasury. And it's good that I did because that stock went down a fair bit a week or two later. But if I'm honest, I'm genuinely shocked that the Canada pension plan would still be so heavily invested in the US after everything that has gone on this year. I get that you can check Nancy Pelosi stocks and you can see what she's invested in. Her trades, based on insider information that shouldn't be legal, but they are technically legal, make for some pretty surefire investments. And I suspect that if America did outlaw Nancy's dirty dealings, a lot of chaotic stuff would happen with the markets because everyone has become so reliant on her as a barometer of what's going to be successful. And as far as I know, Canada doesn't have anything quite like that. There are some American stocks that are essentially surefire things, assuming that China doesn't decide to throw the tech world into chaos by picking a fight with a nearby island. But the fact is, we should probably look at heavily divesting from American companies, given how much the administration has openly expressed their desire to do things like currency manipulation. Because if they devalue the American dollar and the Canadian dollar continues to increase in value, that may make our investments not be so well invested, particularly when compared to investments that we could be making in places like Europe, Australia, or Japan. Either way, I really hope that the pension fund isn't heavily invested in Tesla, because that stock is way overvalued.